welcome back to my channel. I'm Morgane and you're watching Morgane Eats, where I talk all about affordable, approachable, plant-based food. And no one's blind to how expensive groceries are lately. It's just ridiculous, right? So I decided to go to the city market here where I live in Kansas City. You may have a farmer's market where you stay. And with $60 in my pocket, I wanted to know what really could I do. And so this video, I'm gonna walk you through what I got at the city market, how I cooked it, and how you can do something similar. So if that sounds cool and interesting to you, please stay tuned. If you like these kind of videos, please make sure you subscribe. It really helps me out. And let's just get right on into it. So I thought it'd be helpful to offer you a few tips that I try and do when I go to the farmer's market, city market, whatever you call it. I have sweet memories of going to the city market as a child with my aunt and some of my parents, but I specifically remember going with my aunt. And so the biggest thing that I always try to do is I actually don't make a list when I did this time, but I actually don't usually make a list when I go to the city market because I want to see what's fresh. What do the farmers have in abundance? What can I get for a discount? So come with an open mind. I would either say come really early or come really late. If you come really late, you may be able to get, then be like, well, we can cut you a deal kind of vibe. I feel like if you come really early, you might have first dibs on like some of the best products. So each have its advantages. And lastly, I would say know how much you want to spend. So my $60 budget, this is what I'm gonna do. So I think that's really helpful. All right, here is my haul. I did only spend $60. I got $60 in cash, and I think I left with, well, I guess I spent a little under $60. I had like $2 left, which I was like, oh my gosh. So everything was just so beautiful, and I ended up going to the China market to grab some of those things that you see up to the side. So I decided to prep kale, grapefruit, lentils salad. I like making this, and I usually just make it with grapefruit and onions and avocado, but I decided to add the kale and the lentils in to really bulk it up and really make it really delicious. Plus, I had those lentils left over, so I was trying to figure out how to use them. This is awesome with a balsamic dressing. So that sometime this week, I had a lot of recipes, but sometime this week, I want to say this was Monday, I went ahead and made a galette. So here I am making the pie crust for it. So we have flour and sugar, a little salt, and then we're going to add in our vegan butter. The full recipe will be down below in the description. But basically, to sum up what a galette is, it's a pie crust and you fill it with whatever. Because it can be sweet or savory. And in this case, we're doing caramelized onions, some mushrooms, some asparagus, and I have a tofu cream kind of sauce. So I'm just incorporating the vegan butter with the pie crust right now to really get our pie crust going. And in hindsight, probably should want to take the rings off so you can get in there, But we're going to get this water in here. And I like to make little wells so it's easier to stir the flour in. Don't be afraid to get messy. I really think that something like this is wonderful if you're having like a brunch. I mean, I ate this for dinner, but I'm bougie, so it's fine. If you're having like a brunch with some girlfriends, or even like, I don't know if it would really go for Father's Day, but just like a special occasion type of brunch would be really cool. And so I'm just slowly adding the liquid in because I don't want to add too much, and then giving it a stir and just kind of seeing how it feels in my hand now. Still a little dry. And when you're ready, just get in your hands going and just toss it into ball forms. Meanwhile, we're heading to do our cream sauce with half of that silken tofu, which is so funny to only use half of something. And then I'm adding in some oat milk and various spices to really make this delicious, creamy. And this is some miso paste. So that's gonna add just a nice flavor boost. Yes, I did not feel like rinsing, and I knew I could get the rest of that miso paste off if I did it this way. Judge me not, I don't care. I don't like doing dishes. Okay, we're gonna get our roll on with this pie crust. Still haven't taken my rings off. I think this is when I was like, girl, take the rings off, but you know what? It's all good. So on a lightly floured surface, we are going to get our roll on. It's quite relaxing to do something like this and just really just go. I have pink Himalayan salt that I was putting in there after the fact, and I think some of it just kind of didn't get blended right, so is what it is. Right, now we're assembling. We got mushrooms and our caramelized onions. Yes. Oh, rings are off. Our asparagus, which turns out so beautiful when you roast it for about 15 minutes at 425. Now we're adding in that sauce you saw me make earlier in the blender. And then just very rustically, I'm going to fold this together because it does not need to be perfect. It's all about really just being however your hands mold it and however the pie crust really wants to go. So I'm just trying to get baby not to come out. And then just touching up as it will. There's really no perfection to this. It's just kind of how it looks. So that's some more oat milk. Just people would use an egg wash, but this is just kind of my egg wash. Here is our final product. Oh, she's good, and you see she's still bubbly. I had made some Cuban pulled mushrooms with the trumpet mushrooms. It's one of my favorite ways of using this. I have already prepared the juice of 2 oranges, 2 limes, and then some garlic in a mason jar. And once I shred the other trumpet mushroom, I actually refrigerated it overnight, but the next day I put it in my slow cooker, and this is the final product with some of that beautiful corn. That corn was to live for. Oh my god, that corn was so good. Ooh, and I add a little kale slaw because I'm bougie like that. So delicious. Next up, this is one of my favorite things to do with tomatoes when they're super ripe like this. I know there's probably a specific tomato you're supposed to use to make sauce, but I don't care. You know, this is my thing. So I purchased 3 of these beefsteak tomatoes, and then I got some onions, and I'm gonna roast these bad boys for 400 degrees for probably about 30 minutes. This is like the most passive cooking, and I live for it because ain't nobody got time to be on a stove. Like, I think that's why Instant Pots and air fryers are so popular, because people are lazy and we just want to do something that is quick and easy, or we don't have to be in front of it stirring and stirring and stirring. So this is an opportunity for you just to toss some things on a baking sheet, a little olive oil. There's garlic in there as well. And now I'm going to season with some basil and some oregano and salt and pepper. And honestly, that was enough seasoning. Now, I was a little heavy-handed with the seasonings, but I think it paid off because low-key, this pasta with the little lentils on it came out perfectly. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.